This week at Lebanon Road, we're talking about laughter. And we're going to be laughing cheesily for the next 7 or 8 minutes, I'm pretty sure. This is Adam Fawn. I'm always with J.D. Buckner. And J.D., laughter is something we don't talk about all that much when we come to the Bible.
No, especially within the church, because the Bible is such a serious thing. I mean, it's so important to follow God's law. Maybe sometimes we fail to see some of the humorous parts of the Bible. So.
Yeah, laughter is one of those things that I think we sort of avoid, at least talking about. We don't avoid doing it, but there is some biblical information, or some biblical concepts anyway, that about laughter, and so I thought it'd be interesting just to think about it for a couple of minutes. And as I was thinking about this, I thought of 3 things, and you may think of some others. One of the things that's not in the Bible, but I think the concept is there, is that laughter is God-given. We are able to do it just like we're able to cry or able to be angry or anything else, because God has wired us to laugh, to react in that way. Mm-hmm. And for just that reason, it's worth us thinking about, because it's something that God has put within us. And so if God has put it within us, we need to see what He says about it. Another thing I actually found in the Bible, it's not the word laughter, but the concept is that it's good for us.
Yeah.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22 does not contain the word laughter. And I looked in several translations, standard translations, I guess we'd say, and I didn't see the word laughter. But what Solomon wrote there was, "A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Now, of course, being a proverb, we know it's a statement of general truth. It doesn't mean you're going to live to be 400 years old if you laugh a whole lot, or the more you smile, the longer you're going to live. But it's interesting that science, especially very modern science, has backed up that statement from Proverbs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I looked on a few websites, and WebMD.com, everybody's favorite, I've got a muscle hurting, what site do I go to? WebMD.com lists at least 4 very common positive results of laughter, and these are all done by studies. One of them was blood flow. Your blood actually flows clearer and smoother, and blood vessels actually expand and contract better when you're in a better mood. Yeah. And they did this by showing people different kinds of TV shows. When they saw a comedy, their blood flow was better. When they showed a drama, they were all tense and their blood wasn't flowing the right way. Another one they mentioned, this was my favorite, was immune system. Actually works better. And they said that when people laugh, it releases certain chemicals that are chemicals that help fight off infection. And so I guess flu season, we'd be laughing a whole lot.
That's right.
Maybe help a little bit.
Some of you out there with the flu have not been laughing.
That's right. That's right. A third that I had not known until I was getting ready for this was blood sugar levels.
Oh, I know.
This was a sort of and they admitted sort of a lesser study, but they said it was a study of 19 people who had diabetes, and they took them to a lecture one day, a very serious lecture, and then tested their blood sugar level they had eaten before the lecture. The next day, they gave them the same meal and let them sit in front of watching a comedic movie, and their blood sugar levels were lower than after watching the lecture. Huh. And so I guess I need to keep my sermons more upbeat, help people with their, just be a stand-up comedian on Sunday morning or something. But I thought that was pretty interesting. And the fourth they mentioned was relaxation and sleep. That people who laugh closer to the time they try to go to sleep actually have an easier time falling to sleep. And so I thought those were interesting. And it was actually a newspaper article I found from Britain. It's about 4 or 5 years old, of a study done in England, that said that some of these effects of laughter actually have been proven to help people live longer. Now, they did not say laugh more, live longer, but the study said if you add up all the effects, these are the same things that help people live longer, and so people who live a more joyful life, on average, live longer than those who don't.
Makes me think of Patch Adams and his Laughter Hospital, and
that's right.
Like Reader's Digest, laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah, so. That's right. So I thought that was interesting. The Bible sort of makes a statement there about being joyful, being like medicine, and here's modern science saying that's exactly true in a general way. But the third thing I want to mention just very briefly, and I hope all of us know this anyway, is that as Christians, laughter is a wonderful thing, but we need to be careful what we laugh at. Yeah, just as we need to be careful what makes us angry. We need to be careful what makes us happy. Well, we need to be careful what we laugh at. We don't need to laugh at sin, for example. That's something that we can train ourselves to laugh at sin, and there's no way we could say that's right. I don't think it's good to laugh at someone else's expense unless they're laughing along, making fun of themselves or something. We understand that. But laughter is a wonderful thing, but it needs to be trained just like our conscience needs to be trained, just like our tears need to be trained, just like our attitudes need to be trained. And so I didn't want to end this on a negative thing, but I think it needed to be said that since it's God-given and God-wired, that it's something that we need to make sure we're training in a godly way.
That's a good point.
And so I thought, thinking about laughter, let's make some people laugh here.
Okay.
We thought, let's think of the absolute greatest jokes we can possibly think of. And so I've got a couple, and I think you do too.
Yeah.
One was, I was told the other day about two TV antennas that were on a roof and fell off. When they fell off, they fell in love and decided to get married. And you know what happened?
What?
The wedding was awful, but the reception was fantastic.
Wow. Okay, well, I've got one. What did baby corn say to mama corn?
I have no idea.
Where's popcorn?
Oh, well, that sounds like one of those would be like in a kid's, like the, what is it, the popsicle sticks?
Yeah.
That sounds like
Probably
one.
Was.
That sounds like one. Well, I was reading recently about an Eastern religious leader who decided in his religion to walk barefoot his whole life, and so he got calluses all over his feet.
Yeah.
And he also decided in his religion to not eat until it was absolutely necessary. And so sometimes he'd be in the middle of nowhere, he'd eat like roots and terrible stuff,
That's terrible.
and his breath became really bad. You know what he became?
No.
He became a super fragile, callous mystic with extreme halitosis.
That's awesome. Some of you will get that one.
Yeah. I'm not sure I get that one, but I laughed anyway.
Well, here's one that I've got. Have you ever heard the one about the toilet?
Oh, should we do this on the...
Yeah, you're right. It's too dirty.
Oh. I didn't know you were going to do that, actually. That was pretty good. I like that. Go ahead. You've got a whole page.
I got to end right there.
Oh,
That's the killer.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
This may be the last one of these this week at Lebanon Roads we ever do. Well, we've got just a couple of minutes left, I think. My clock stopped working. But since this is this week at Lebanon Road, I know we've got our Time Saver Supper tonight, recording this on Wednesday. But you also have one of the big youth trips this weekend, CYC. And some of our viewers may have heard those initials, but may not really know what CYC is. So take just a minute, let them know what this trip to Gatlinburg is all about.
Yeah, sure. CYC is short for Challenge Youth Conference, and it's in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, about this time every year. If you get the bulletin, you can see I've written just a little bit about it, but we get up there on Friday evening. We enjoy a good lesson from a talented speaker and a good session of singing. Then we go to our hotel, which is the Glenstone Lodge, just up the hill from the convention center, so everything's conveniently located. On Saturday, we have two big sessions, one in the morning, one in the evening, with some free time for the kids to enjoy Gatlinburg in between. Sunday is a good period of worship, and then we load up and head back this way that afternoon. So it's a really great trip. The kids enjoy it a lot. The speakers are always good. The lessons are always timely and applicable. And the singing is really awesome. There'll be about 12,000 people there this year, I've heard. So.
Wow, that thing has grown from almost nothing. I think the first one had like 100 people or something, and it's just amazing. And so many congregations attend that, and I'm glad our young folks and several of our adults go and enjoy that weekend up there together. And we always pray for you all to be safe, and that kind of dominates this week as far as the church calendar, because so many of our folks go, but that's fine. That's really, really good. As always, you can get in touch with us through the church website, LebanonRoadChurchOfChrist.org. There's contact information there where you can contact the office and get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you, and we hope to be back with you again next Wednesday or thereabouts. We're trying to do these once a week. Till then, that was another opportunity to laugh at my stupidity and inability to talk here. Until then, this is This Week at Lebanon Road.